So, hello, I'm Preeti. I'm a doctor working as a consultant radiologist in England since last 10 years, and I think it's the same number of years I have been doing Sahaja Yoga meditation. So, my experience of yoga, Sahaja Yoga meditation is very subtle in the sense that when I received realization and I started doing meditation from that date, which was in 2003, up till now, if I see my life, it's like there was a transformation happening around me as a whole. So I wouldn't say that it was like one experience which has happened as a dramatic thing. But and the transformation, the changes which were happening were quite dramatic, but I couldn't see them at that time. But I see that 10 years, so it's 2014 now, and since 2004 the life has completely changed. First of all, to be honest, I didn't feel the vibrations for 2-3 years, but I should say the life started changing from the very first moment when I received realization. So as I was telling you that we had a big jump in our career and life as we moved immediately from India to England in 2004, and very well settled immediately as soon as we arrived here in England, got a good job, consultant position, which was very unusual to get a consultant position without being trained here in England as a doctor, and that was very surprisingly, even now, that how come our education and our degree was recognized here by Royal College of Radiologists. So all those things are quite unusual if you look back, although at that time we didn't realize. So all the things were happening in like that positive way, and even now I see that the positive things happen in a very subtle way, in a very small way. I mean, it may sound very very normal to somebody, but I see things how happens. Let's say, for example, I'm sitting with a complicated case to make a diagnosis, and I might think close that case for now because it's not clear and I don't know what is the diagnosis, and I'll sit on it for a couple of days that okay, I'll do it later. And then something will happen, like let's say a colleague will enter the office and just immediately bring a journal or an article that have you seen this journal, and I'll find the answer exactly there. So I mean, these like very subtle things which I see happening. And another example is like when I was moving from Scarborough to here, I was applying for jobs here and there, and if I didn't get selected at one particular trust and got selected here in the trust where I'm working, is obviously I'm very happy and pleased with my job here, but the position where I didn't get selected, well, I found out later that it was a very bad place to work. Yeah. So all these very very subtle things which I see, so they're not very dramatic, but I see them in every day. But as far as establishing in Sahaja Yoga, I mean, things again happened in a very gentle and again very subtle way. So I was doing meditation thinking that this is a good thing, because obviously with Indian background you do understand and you do realize that meditation is good for improving your concentration and for family, for balance, for feeling more calm and peaceful. So I was doing that with no other intention. Didn't feel the vibrations at all for 2-3 years, and then I think the main thing which helped me for developing my faith, or maybe deepening the meditation, was that I was having a picture of Shri Mataji with me, which was given to me by the person who gave realization. So after realization, he just gave the picture that here is your small gift, and I had that. Although I didn't meditate with the picture all the time, but because I was having the picture, I had the opportunity to meditate with her. And then one day I was preparing for my exams, and I thought before, it's good, meditation is good for your focus and studies and concentration. So I was meditating in front of Shri Mataji's picture, and just, it wasn't a cool breeze, it was like a gush of cold water flowing through my hands. It wasn't a gentle cool breeze, it was not tingling, it was like, I don't know from where this water, this is cool water flowing through my hands. That was one experience which I realized that, wow, this is extraordinary, this is something. And then after that, I started my children to ask them to come and meditate with me, because again, it's the Indian thing that children should also meditate, and it's good for them. And my two sons, who were at that time 4-5 years and 2-3 years, so I've got two sons. So my elder son, who was 5 years at that time, no, it was probably 6 or 7 years. And so what when we once like he was meditating, and he said that, "Mommy, I've never seen Shri Ganesh. How does he look like?" And I said, "Why don't you ask Shri Mataji? Just close your eyes and ask." I just simply said, and he did. He closed his eyes. And when he opened his eyes, he said that, "Mummy, I saw Shri Mataji, and I asked Shri Mataji, can you show me Lord Shri Ganesha?" And Shri Mataji took my hand, and he said that he could feel the softness of Shri Mataji's hand in his little palm. And Shri Mataji took him with her, and there Lord Shri Ganesha was there. And he gave me all the details, my son, that how Lord Ganesha was wearing all the ornaments, and he had very bright fair skin. And then Lord Ganesha stood up and bowed to Shri Mataji. And I asked Sarthak, my elder son, that what did he say to you, Lord Ganesha? And Sarthak said that Lord Ganesha said that, "Remember all the good things you do to your little brother." That's what Lord Ganesha said. And then he came back. So that was very strong experience for me, because I had more faith in my children than anybody else in this world. And my son was very, very young, so I had no doubt what he's going through the meditation. Yeah. And then regularly they used to have very strong experiences. Like once he was, my elder son has got asthma, and once he was not very well, so he was wheezy in the morning. He wasn't able to lie down straight, so he was sitting up straight in the bed. And it was early morning, like 6 o'clock. So because he wasn't able to sleep, I said, "Let's meditate." So we started meditating, and then he said that, "Mummy, I saw a beautiful lotus opening up on my Sahasrar, and that lotus was beautiful pink color." And he said, "Mummy, I've never seen such pink color, the color of that lotus flower on the Sahasrar." That was when, and then again, one more time he was meditating, the same, my elder son. And that was again morning, and he said that he saw a sunrise on his Sahasrar, and in Sahasrar he saw the big snake, which I realized later that it was Lord Shiva's snake, or maybe Kundalini. But he said that, "Mommy, that was a very big snake, but he was on my side So that was his childish, wordings that he said, "Mommy, he wasn't a scary one. He was on my side." So I knew that because we moved to England when they were quite young, and they had not much exposure of Indian deities and gods and goddesses. I was quite surprised at how they are having all these experiences of gods and goddesses, so real in their dreams. So, and then little one started going Samath, who's now 10 years, and he had quite a few experiences like this. The most recent one I can remember was when he was even just last year, when he had hepatitis. You remember when we came back from India and he had hepatitis? So I took days off from office and he was off from school, and we were meditating in the same room here. He usually meditates with his eyes open. So he was looking at Shrimatiji's picture, and I was behind him, and he suddenly said that, "Mommy, look at Shrimatiji's picture. You see Lord Hanuman there?" I said, how do you know Lord Hanuman? He said, "You see Shrimatiji's face above the lips is puffed up, and is Lord." And then he was looking, his eyes were open, with open eyes, the same picture he was looking. And then he said, "Mommy, look, now it's there, Sri Sita." And I said, "How do you know that Sri Sita?" And he said, "I know she is Sri Sita." So he has never seen a picture of Sri Sita, but in his heart, he knew that Sri Sita is in her eyes. And then because he got quite thrilled with this vision, so with open eyes, without closing his eyes, this time, the third time, he asked Shrimataji that, "I want to see Lord Ganesha." And then he saw Lord Ganesha but the third time he himself asked that, "I want to see."
It's extraordinary.
So yeah, and once also he saw again the little one, younger one. He saw Shrimataji was sitting in the middle, and he saw all the gods sitting with their throne surrounding her, and Shrimataji was in the center with Lord Ganesha. So all those experiences, because those are from my two boys whom I know so much, and there's no other proof was needed once I hear from them. So that was
okay. That's beautiful.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.